नमस्ते दोस्तों, मैं हूं आपकी होस्ट कनिका और आज हमारे साथ है कर्नल सुनील ब्रिज कृष्ण सर और आज हम बात करेंगे ग्रोथ की। वी आर गोइंग थ्रू अ टाइम ऑफ अनसर्टेनिटी. We cannot predict what would happen the next moment, and in this situation when we get stuck, we are worried about growth. How to find growth in this moment when there is nothing certain, there is nothing that we are sure about. So we are looking for answers, we are looking for growth. And who can be a better person than our very own Colonel Sunil Brij Krishna sir to guide us, to motivate us and to inspire us that after this pandemic ends or even through this pandemic we can sail through, we can find hope and we can grow. Human beings ultimately evolve. We fall, we suffer, but we pick up the lessons and we evolve. So we are looking for these lessons that we can pick up from these times of uncertainty and grow and progress and find a better living for ourselves. So I'm just waiting for Colonel sir to join this live session, and once he is here I will ask him the questions that our audience has sent to us. So I'm just trying to send him a request. Please give me a moment. I hope sir will be able. Oh, wonderful. Good evening sir. Namaste. How are you?
Namaskar. Very well, Kanika. Good to see you. Sorry for that little glitch. It takes me a time to get used to it, but all is well. Thank you.
Yes,
yeah.
All is well. We are happy to see you all smiling, healthy on the screen. How have you been doing, sir?
No complaints. So far, so good. God is great. God is kind, and may He shower us with His benign blessings 24/7, 365.
Absolutely. And then, sir, to that. Okay, sir. So today's topic is finding growth in times of COVID. So this in itself is a very positive outlook to something that we are in middle of a crisis. We are in middle of something that was not desirable, but we are still positive. We are looking for growth options, and we will be finding growth no matter how the situation is. So, what is your take on the topic, sir?
Well, to be very honest with you, Kanika, you have seen me interact with you and a lot of others on Insta and other places for the last maybe a month plus now. And I always have believed in, the positivity aspect of life. But having said that, without being even a tad negative in what I'm trying to say, there are certain aspects which have, bothered a lot of us over the last couple of years, a year and a half, if you really ask me. Which, at times makes you wonder as to why is all that energy and Josh taking time to get converted to the reality of being a positive person. But I still remain one. There have been ups and downs. We have all had connections with a lot of people who have been, victims of a pandemic. But I still believe that the future is going to be bright. So that's what I'm going to basically say, Kanika. I've been saying it all the time, mushkil waqt commando sat. When the going gets tough, you don't get up and run away. Unfortunately and sadly, and I must confess this on screen as well, there were a lot of people I knew who also believed in the same adage. But, a man proposes and God disposes is an old saying. So probably he disposed. Whatever they wanted to propose, he disposed, which was sad. But that's not the end of life as yet, Kanika. So let's take it on. Let's try and see what best can we do out of whatever is available to us, whatever we are facing, and how best are we going to handle it.
Absolutely.
That's what I want to begin. Yes, positivity will remain. Prayers are also required.
Right.
Positive prayers make a lot of difference. So you stay positive, the prayers will help. Yes, Kanika.
Definitely, sir. Definitely. We have to be committed to this purpose, this cause of bringing positivity in lives of people through our platform Just Baat, and through our group we collect questions from the audience where they let us know that this is our concern and this is where we need advice. So sir, as I do it always, I will be sharing those concerns with you, and my audience, our dear members of Just Baat community would be looking to answers and pearls of wisdom from you. So sir, here is my first question. It is, she
All right.
says, I am a mother of 5-year-old. I was looking forward to resume my career in the year 2020. Considering that my child is not dependent on me totally for everything. Now due to pandemic and a long break, my career is stuck. I'm not getting a job. I did few courses online to upskill myself, but I don't see going ahead anywhere. Can you please advise?
Well. Now, a couple of positives before we get into the negativity of the question asked. You see, here is apparently a young lady. She's a mother of a 5-year-old. So if I were to, calculate in my mind how young the lady would be, I bet she wouldn't be a shade over 30 in any case to stretch it too far. So she would be somewhere in the latter half of the 20s. So here is somebody who is a young mother of a 5-year-old. She believes that the little fellow or the little girl, whoever the kid is independent in the sense that can handle things. So obviously the mother feels a little upset in the sense that I'm looking after him. He doesn't need me to look after him any longer. I'm now stuck. And at the same time, she goes ahead and says, I'm trying to upskill and learn. Look at the positive first, Kanika. A majority of young mothers whom I've had the privilege of being associated with, talking to young girls of mine who became mothers at a later stage in life, their biggest crib was, so we were single, we got married, we have little babies, we took a little sabbatical from work because of motherhood having taken on, and then, sir, after the maternity leave was over, it was back to office, and every day that I see my son, I find a change in him, and I wish I could be connected to him to bring about that change. Now, here is the case, Kanika. Thanks to the pandemic, good, bad, or ugly, whatever you may call it, the fact is that here is this young mother who is watching a 5-year-old boy, a little girl, grow up. Now, if the child is 5 years old today, when the pandemic hit all of us, I presume it hit the lady in question again. She was working somewhere where everybody was told to work from home. And that was a year ago. So the little child would have been somewhere 3.5, 3.75 or 4 years old.
Right.
You have seen the little girl or a little boy graduate from a 4 years to a 5 years. You have seen a phenomenal change in the upbringing of a child. Spend time with the little boy or little girl that you have 5 years. Oh my goodness me, because you want it, I want it, we all want it. We all want to get back to work tomorrow. If the doors open today and they tell us the corona is a has-been and never was, let's get back to work, we will all run to their offices. And once we run to the offices, a little while down the road again, we'll keep wondering, what the hell? Home was good fun.
Right.
So I am going to advise people like the young mother here, utilize karo ye time. See the little child grow. Spend time with the child. Make him sing, make him dance, make him watch good things which are entertaining. Spend a little moment with him on knowledge, fundamental. Keep upskilling yourself. Nobody stops you. But to say that I do not see myself going anywhere ahead in a career, you are a young lady. You got the whole world at your feet. Just for one moment, Kanika, I would like to tell this to every young mother or every young dad today who is faced up with a scenario like this. Please consider yourselves blessed and lucky that we are still around. We are still fighting. We are still with family. We are still with friends. I know a lot of people, Kanika. I'm not a negative person. Forgive me for saying something which is going to be stark reality. Some of the people I've also had the privilege of knowing, well, they are now referred to in a past tense.
Right.
They didn't want this to happen to them. They were tough people. But then I said, man proposes, God disposes. So let's look at the proposition part of it and let's ensure that we don't get disposed. So let's work. Keep learning. There are thousands of things to keep yourself occupied. I can understand that the prolonged period of a pandemic lock-in does play a major role on the psyche. But when you're looking at a young little kid in the house and you're saying, look, I've got to look after this little person. And if I now look at my life as, seeing nothing bright happening, it's going to percolate down to the children. It will percolate down to the husband. He has his own problems. The little kid, can you imagine that little kid, Kanika? He probably is not allowed to go out to play in his little society.
Right.
He is locked up in the home. So the frustration element for a child is more. And if we tend to look at ourselves from that angle, oh, well, then it's not going to be fair. Come on, Kanika. Please tell the young mother, oh, life is going to be good. Let's look at the positive now.
Right.
We have got new vaccines coming. We have got a new thing which has come up only yesterday or day before, which enhances and uplifts the oxygen content in your body. I've known of a person who was at 40 oxygen, and with that a dose of that new whatever vaccine is available now, the 40 was pushed to a 70, and the doctors rejoiced. They rejoiced. So things are going to be better. I'm also being told that, hospital beds are now available. Now it sounds sad to talk of hospital beds, but just imagine. A week ago, there were no hospital beds, there were no oxygen cylinders, there was no remdesivir, there was no vaccine. They're there again. They're coming back. So means we are turning the corner. And if we are going to turn the corner, Kanika, I think it's on us to believe that, push it down to our own selves and say, oh my God, mera kya hoga? Look at yourself. Keep upskilling. Tomorrow is another day. Every black cloud has a silver lining. And I'm sure this young mother is going to be a fantastic mother. 5 years down the line, when she has a 10-year-old, and she'll tell herself, look, I'm glad we did it together. Please convey this to her. If she's on the line, please, this is what I can say. We haven't lost anything as yet. We are still comfortable. Let's look at things positively and keep praying for all of us who are not so fortunate today as some of us are. All right,
Yes, sir. Absolutely, sir. That's a wonderful. I have a 4-year-old son, and I absolutely know how difficult it is for them not to go out of the house, not being able to play. So we are absolutely in a better place, and times will change. As you say, this too shall pass. This too shall pass, and there will be good days coming to us.
So, Kanika, forgive me for the interjection. This is a case of a person who is asked you a question who is a mother of a 5-year-old. My dear Kanika sitting opposite me is a mother of a 4-year-old. The equations are the same. They haven't changed. And if Kanika can smile and be so radiant and make the whole world look bright, I'm sure every young mother of a 5-year-old is not looking at life and saying, Mera kya hoga? We are not going back to the days of Gabbar Singh. Tera kya hoga, Kalia? No, mera sab kuch acha hi hoga. Let's do cheers on that. It'll work. Yeah.
Right, sir. So we have an audience question that I want to take up.
Please.
Neha says, what is the best way to answer this? I'm just 1 minute. In interviews, we are often asked, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? What is the best way to answer this without sounding over or underconfident?
Great question. Now, let me also connect this question with the topic of discussion today, growth in COVID. So I'm looking at somebody who is not telling himself or herself, in this case, Neha's question, okay, herself, what's going to happen to me tomorrow? The question is, where do I see myself 10 years down the line? The very fact that you're talking like this, you're a visionary. You're seeing a future. You have the ability to see the bigger picture. What does it mean? You are able to dream with eyes open, Kanika. A lot of us dream with eyes closed. That is when we are tired, we get back home, we lie down in bed, put our head on the pillow, and we are knocked off. And then we are in a supernatural world, dreaming of all the good things. And then we are rudely awakened and we realize that was only a dream. I tell people, dream with your eyes open. Where do you see yourself 5 years down the line? I would look at any person questioning me like this, saying, okay, I look at myself at X today. 10 years down the line, I'm not going to be, say, I'm a business girl, I'm a young executive in an organization. I'm 24, 25, 26, 30 years old, as the case may be. 10 years down the line, a 30-year-old is not going to be CEO and MD of an organization, quite obviously. So for somebody to say, 10 years down the line, I think I'm going to take over this company and run it, it's being stupid. But if somebody were to ask me this question, and look how I will put it across to you, Kanika. Where do you see yourself 10 years down the line? I see myself 10 years down the line in a world which is devoid of all this terrible pandemic that we have had the misfortune of going through, number one. But if I look at myself personally, I'm going to be far happier than I am today because of the negatives around me having gone. And from a professional angle, 10 years down the line, I see myself in a position which is definitely going to be slightly senior to my present position, present designation, present work responsibility. Obviously, Kanika, if you join as a junior engineer, 10 saal ke baad, you'll be a very senior engineer. You're not going to be an MD, number one. So you see, I see myself in a position slightly senior to my present position. I look at myself as somebody who is going to be an integral part of an organization. Now I'm using the word integral. Integral means somebody you cannot do without. Now I'm not trying to say that you are showing off, Kanika. No, an integral part is something which makes the whole process function. So if I say Kanika is my integral part of this team, it means अगर कनिका 2 दिन की छुट्टी ले लेगी, अरे प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा. Kanika hai, she's integral, means so well meshed into the scene. And my third answer to this is, I see myself 10 years down the line, sir, other than being in a slightly senior position, other than being an integral part, I see myself as a person whom the organization that I'm working for will be very proud of. What have I said, Kanika? This is growth. This is growth. You think on these lines today during the pandemic. I am telling you, you are carving a path for yourself. What did Ralph Waldo Emerson, the great man who once said, go not where there exists a path. That is for the easy way out. The people who believe, yeah, let us not change. The biggest problem about change is there is resistance to change, RTC. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, go not where there exists a path. He says, go where there is no path. And create a trail. Create a trail. Why are you sitting at home and saying everybody has been doing it for years? I will do the same. This is nobody's taking you. Do yourself in a slightly more senior position. Obviously, happier personally, professionally good, integral part of an organization. And somebody, the organization will say, we will never let this girl go. She will be with us. This is the answer to your question. Wonderful. I hope the question was answered to the best of my ability, but that's what I look at. Yes,
Yes, a wonderful question, and I think the audience is absolutely enjoying this session. So I have another audience question. I will take from Ganesh Krishna. He says, how to deal with old school micromanaging senior management who think quantity over quality and have made working late hours a virtue instead of appreciating efficiency.
All right. Good question. A very standard question which comes from the millennials, if I might use the term. Okay, people born in this part of the world. Anybody born after, say, the mid-80s is somebody who is very different compared to when I was born, or when Kanika, your papas and mamas were born in that time. Now, micromanagement, we don't like this term, honestly, because we now believe that we are fit enough to be empowered. When you talk of micromanagement, especially from the older lot of people you work under, Kanika, that's a slightly older school of thought. Now, I would never go and say, those old foggies, they don't know, they haven't moved with time. Because remember one thing, my dear girl, old is still gold. Okay. The elders who are now our bosses, who micromanage us at times, which puts us off a little, I can understand. There are some very rigid people who are the older school of thought who believes it's the way I did it. We were physically more oriented on ground as against the modern world, which is more tech savvy, more internet savvy, more, comfortable, cushion savvy and watching a television or a computer rather than going on ground and doing it. But my point is very clear. The new generation has to obviously surpass the older generation, but having said that, take out the good aspects of what the elders taught us by way of going about things, managing things, the perspective becomes broader. Whereas you people, the younger lot who believe that, sir, you have given me a job, let me handle it. Sure, if you have the courage to tell some of the older people, sir, I will come to you anytime and every time I am stuck with the case. But if you also permit, let me try out my new thought processes, because probably I am one generation ahead of what you lived in. And believe me, Kanika, A person like me, I'm not from your generation, I'm from your dad's generation. I learn from people who are probably just about learning how to walk. And why not? Why not? Now, if I give you a task and I constantly breathe down your neck like a mother hen is protective. Remember this. When she sees danger, she just lifts up those little wings of hers and all the little chicks come and hide under her and she covers her little wings and she protects them. You can mother hen people up to a particular point in time. Micromanagement, when it crosses a limit, it has counterproductive effects. So I always believe, respect the senior for what he knows, what he has been through, what he has done, but be man enough to tell him, sir, give me an opportunity. I promise you I'll try. If I fail, you're always there. That is what I'm looking for. This is what you got to say to people today. I hope I have been able to. I mean, there could be many connotations to an answer to the question asked, but that's what I believe in. And this is what is happening in business today with all the youngsters. So I hope Ganesh, or God bless Ganpati Bappa, if he has asked me this question, I'm sure he'll work it out in a better manner. Yes, baby.
There is a counter statement coming from Shaurya Joshi. She says, but they tend to get offended. It is a counter question to the answer that you have given, but they get offended.
Yeah.
So उसने ज़्यादा जिंदगी देखी है and far more experience than you. So how to tackle?
Good question. Very, very, very lovely question. And I say salam to you all. It's very natural, my dear girl. What's the girl's name who has asked this question, Bere? Who has asked this question? Shaurya Joshi. Okay, Shaurya Joshi. Please tell Shaurya. It's human psychology, it's human nature. Everybody has a feeling of ego. And when somebody says, "Tu kya batayega mere ko? Tu to paida nahi hua tha." I believe these are very cliched statements today, to be very honest. I do have a little empathy towards some of the senior lot of people, Shaurya, and you're so right, where they thrust their views down your throat. And if you were to counter question them, which you must and you should, why not? But please remember, थोड़ा नम्रता के साथ थोड़ा हाथ जोड़ कर काउंटर कर लीजिए. The problem arises when you counter somebody who has been there and done that in an era when you were in no existence at all, and you tell him, he'll tell you, what engineering have you done, my friend? The engineering I did, we did 5 years, you have done 4 years, and we were hard. This is okay. It's an ego. Satisfy his ego. He has been there, he has done that. Be nice and be polite and be kind and say, sir, you are the Guru Dev. I will follow your views. Allow me also a little bit to try my little analysis somewhere. If it works, I'll come and share it with you. If it doesn't, I'll come back to you like this and say, tell me which is the right way. This is the way you handle people. Because ego is something which can create a huge chasm of a gap between people. Respect the man. But tell him this very politely, tell him this nicely. Shaurya, I bet you can do that. And you will always be faced with this. The older you get, people older to you. Remember, when you get to their level, you will also have the same ego. You will say the same things. Just remember that.
Right.
What goes around comes around. Yeah.
Right. It's always good to keep that ego at bay and put forward our thoughts politely as her advice. So I hope our dear audience, you must have got answers to your questions. Keep your questions pouring in. We are having a very good interactive session with Sir. And Sir, now I will put forward a question from the group. And the question comes from this gentleman who says, I'm a businessman. The fashion industry has seen a downfall ever since lockdown. People are not going to office. The debts keep on increasing and the sale doesn't seem to go up. Should I change my business line or just wait?
Yeah, I wish I could really give you a 140% answer to that question, my dear. There's no denying the fact certain aspects of business have taken a beating. Fashion industry. You won't believe it, Kanika, and this is for the audience. Every time I open my closet, there are about 60 trousers and shirts in my hanger there, all neatly pressed. They have got fungus on them. I can't wear them now before putting them into the washing machine again. And that is what has happened to clothes. That is what has happened to life. Now here is a person who's talking of being a fashion designer. Yes, I can well imagine a person is into business of the fashion industry. So probably he has invested money into a concept, a project. He has got so much of stuff on his hands. He's got people who are working for him. And well, and all this didn't come for free. I know a lot of people who, when they started things like this, they begged, borrowed, stole money from everywhere to put it in, and you got it paid back. Yeah, you got the case of young people who are, earning salaries. Salaries have stopped, but the EMIs continue. Where do they get the money from? This is going to happen, and this is happening. And so I have a lot of empathy towards such people. That's why I say, now the question is, well, increasing sale at this particular point in time, I can definitely vouch for the fact, doesn't seem so encouraging right now. What happens tomorrow, Kanika, a month down the line, 2 months, you can never tell. The world can suddenly change. Yes, I promise you, there can be a metamorphical change. God bless us all. But at the moment, it's not very encouraging. Now the question is, should the gentleman change his business or should he wait? Now when you say change the business, I need to also get a few points in my thought processes. Means change a business means start something afresh. Start something afresh means invest more money. Invest more money is you're already saying debts are increasing on one side. You want to invest money somewhere. My little humble piece of advice to certain people like this is just hang on, guys. Just hang on. Hang on for a little while. If you are so confident of your own self that, all right, I say stop this for the time being and let's invest in something, and God is kind to you and he has still given you some money to fall back on, and you believe that you can get into something like, stop your fashion designing and begin a fast food industry from home delivery systems as people have done, Kanika, well then go ahead. But if you really ask me, because the overall financial sthiti overall in the country, forget the Sensex, it's still doing remarkably well, and God bless us for that. God bless us, we crossed the 50,000 points again. But I would say, before you try your luck into investing into something new as a new business, you can't wait. I said, you waited this long, just hang around a little more. Give yourself a month or two. And if you feel it's not going to work, take a call. You are the one who's going to take a call. Should you take and change over your business? If you feel you can after 2 months and invest into something, please go ahead. But if I were you, I'd say, we have reached so far, let's just hang on. Give ourselves a little more time. That's an honest opinion. If I was in the gentleman's place, I would do that. I would wait on a little more. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, sir. So I hope with this answer, the person must have got some hope and some more strength to wait for a while and then take his decision either to stay or to move on.
Yes,
so
yes.
I will move on to my next question, sir. And
yeah.
This question is, I joined a new company towards the end of 2019. I was expected to boost the growth of the company, but due to pandemic, the tables have turned, and I'm worried that this will have an impact on my image as well. What should I do that my boss believes that I am actually trying hard to boost the sales of the company or boost the growth of the company?
All right. This is again, Kanika, if you recollect, maybe the last time we did a program or maybe the program before that, this was a very, very common or a connected question asked by some other young lady or a gentleman as to, my boss is constantly pushing me. He wants work. Do you remember? My memory doesn't fail me. Well, all bosses at the end of the day will keep doing that because they also have an answer, or they are supposed to be answerable to the man about it. Let's face a fact. You're looking at an organization today which has taken a beating thanks to the pandemic again. You're now looking at, you joined this company with the aim of boosting its sales, boosting its coffers, increasing the money intake. But now what has happened is you suddenly find yourself hitting a stone wall. Will it have an impact on your image? Well, if you are constantly going to give an answer as कोशिश कर रहा हूं नहीं हो रहा है, कोशिश कर रहा हूं नहीं हो रहा है, जो नहीं हो रहा है, and you're always projecting a negative part whenever you're talking to your senior, your superior, your boss, or whoever it may be, obviously he's also going to look at it from another different aspect, because he, at the end of the day, as I told him, if he's your boss, somebody is his boss and somebody is that boss's boss. It goes down the ladder upwards, Kanika. My point is, how do you make the boss believe that you're actually trying hard to boost the growth of the company by coming up with some idea, reading up a little things about a few things and said, sir, can we also try this? Can we float a few things like this? Can we create an idea or a paper or write something? Can we do something? I have got something in my mind. Can I make a suggestion? That is, you see, the point is whether you're working in the office on alternate days or you're working at home, you are not in the similar scenario that you were when the pandemic was never there. So every day there was something to showcase to the boss. Sir, today we did this. Today I went and met a client. Today I did that. Today. That's not the case today. He knows it. You know it, Kanika. We all know it. Will it have an impact on you, your image? It will if you constantly give a negative answer to a person. ऐसे क्या हुआ उसका? Sir, मैंने कोशिश किया नहीं हुआ. What has happened to this? Sir, I am trying. See, the more you talk of negativity, even if you have not succeeded in a mission, there's a way of putting things across, my dear girl. There's a way of putting things across. Yes, sir. What have I done for the last 1 year? Oh, sir, I have improved my physical knowledge, general knowledge, mental knowledge about so many aspects. I've come up with some creative ideas. Let's put that creative ideas at least in letter and print. Let us see how it works. If you can, by a telephone call, talk to people and try and tell them, look, you're pushing, you're doing this, and keep a follow-up with the boss. At least the guy who is human himself will know that this man is at least trying.
Right.
You see, my point here is the concept of where this trying finally ends. You can keep trying. End of the day, if things do not go your way, the trying has no future, but you can still make an attempt by telling somebody and not saying, sir, मैंने बड़ा कुछ सोचा था. I joined this organization with the aim of boosting. Who doesn't join any organization, Kanika, with the aim to boost the growth of the company? A standard question asked in a company is, what will you do? What will you bring into our company? Standard question, तुम क्या लाओगे मेरे company? Some people say a breath of fresh air. A lot of smiles. At the same time, diligence, honesty, hard work, a determination to excel. In my own small way, I like to contribute my small mite to increase the coffers. It might be a drop in the ocean, but little drops of water make a mighty ocean. That's what you tell people physically. I'll tell this person even now. I said, sir, this too shall pass. Yes, let's wait, let's work. I've got certain ideas. Work out certain ideas. Be a little more creative. Talk to people. Keep yourself connected. What is the internet for? What is your cameras, your laptop and your mobiles for? It is giving you accessibility. I know we are getting fed up, Kanika. I see a lot of people getting fed up because they are constantly on screens. And then people say, Kitna dekho, sir? How much more can I? You have to do it. Listen, there are no two ways about this. Either you throw up your hands and tell your boss, you can hammer my image for whatever you think it's right. Fine, I can't go beyond this. And you know where the end results are going to be. If you're still in the organization and the boss still talks to you once in a while, so he says, Mushkil hai, kya hua? Has anything happened? Sir, I'm trying. You still have a job. You still have a job. You're still with the new company. You want to further the growth. You will further the growth. How do you make yourself more positive? By picking up a phone, talking to your clients, talking to your staff, talking to your people, doing your work, whatever limited work you can do during the pandemic, and try and boost your images. It may not make a change in the overall growth, but gradually they have an effect. Rather than putting up a poker face in front of the boss every time and said, nahi hua, nahi hua, nahi hua, he says, thank you very much. What does it do to your image? What does it impact your image? Zilch, zero. I was like this when I was wearing a uniform. I keep pushing a person. Then I realized, how much can I push a person? Till he one day came and told me, he said, sir, now this is the end of my tether. I'm still trying. I've been sitting up all night, waiting 48 hours for that guy to pass by on that forbidden track. I promise you, the moment he does, the bullet will go into his head. Oh, good. I like your spirit. It changes. But if you said, sir, main so gaya tha last time when that man passed by, or you have taken a little jabki when that because of fatigue and that man missed away that area whichever you were covering, he'll say, I don't want a guy like you there. What has happened to image? See, the impact factor is something called impression management. You've got to make an impression to the management that you are still trying. Now the question is, it's very easy for somebody to tell me, or people to tell me, sir, it's so easy for you to say this. Yes, it is very easy for me to say this, but believe me, the practicality part of it is the positivity in what you say, how you say it, when you say it. You see, half the world is won by the body language of a person. When you talk to somebody, your image will take a beating if your body language takes a beating. You are talking to somebody, trying to improve the growth of an organization, trying hard to boost it up. There is a limit to where you can. But please, you tell the person concerned who's your boss that my image and my impact, sir, barkarar. It doesn't take a beating at all. I am still the same efficient guy. We are putting all ourselves together. We have distributed the eggs. We have not put the eggs in one basket. You put all the eggs in one basket, it's going to crash, my dear girl.
Right.
I know, Kanika. I must confess, at times a lot of people do tell me, sir, what you said is fabulous. But sir, jab asliyat hoti hai, I can't say it. You got to say it. You got to be it. You want to bring about a change? Be the change you want to be. हम सब change के लिए चाहते हैं. I want to do this. अरे शुरू करो ना. Charity begins at home. Start. Do something. Be creative. Think about a few things. Write out a few concepts. Make a paper. Forward it to people. Spread your emails. And what can we do in the next 5 months if things go the same way? How can we get better? Arey, many hands make light work, Kanika. Brainstorming is a wonderful thing. Brainstorm. Yes, 10 heads put together with you at the helm, come out with 10 different ideas. That is what you need to do. When you talk to your subordinate staff or even your superiors, very ordinary question, difficult to answer. But being practical is one thing and being, theoretical is another, my dear. I'm trying to be practical here. Theory se kahan tak main isko le jaun? I need to put it to practice. I'm doing it practice by putting my thoughts on paper so that tomorrow when things get a little better, we can implement it. This is what I want you to tell you. Everybody joined the new company with the aim of rising in the company and boosting the growth of the company. The pandemic has put a brake on our lives. It has not made a cavity there where we are all falling into it. It's just a little hurdle. We shall cross it. Before we cross it, let's realize, how do we get across that hurdle? Do we build a bridge? Do we get into a boat? Do we take a long jump and do a great Olympic jump and get across it? That is what we need to talk about, rather than curse our fate, curse society, curse everybody, and in the end, curse ourselves. I have nothing more to say on a question like this.
Right, sir. Absolutely. What I understand from this answer is, sir, it's best to make the use of the available resources. Keep trying whatever is in our hands. We should keep trying. And ultimately, everybody knows, even the boss knows that it's pandemic, but he is aware of the resources, and with that resources, he's watching you put those resources into practice.
Can I give you my own personal example today in the pandemic, Kanika? I have been sitting at home for a year and 4 months, 3 months. People who know me, and I have a large database of my clientele and students, they keep asking me, sir, you are always a butterfly, flip-flopping from flower to flower, leaf to leaf, branch to branch. How do you manage? I said, well, by the grace of God, the health is still all right. The mind is still perfectly fine because every day is a new day. What do I do? Okay, it's a different thing that I teach and talk and train and take classes. Everything has its monotony at the end of the day, Kanika. But I tell myself, no, tomorrow is a great day. Every day I get up and I look at the light outside in the balcony. I said, thank you, God, for one more day. God bless you. Let's do something. Then I sit at home. I said, let's do something. Let me rummage through my old databases. Let me pick up an old hard drive. Let me see what I can do. Oh, these were some of the things I did sometime. Let me refresh some of my slides. I'm not a PPT man. I send my PPTs to people, but I upgrade my knowledge. I keep a track of everything. And before I can say Jack Robinson or Rajesh Khanna, it's become evening, it's night, and another day begins. Time passes. I'm surprised at how time has really passed. Every day begins and it ends. You don't know how it is. You've got to keep yourself occupied. Go through it. Think of what all you can do. Pick up an old book, read it, write an old diary, jot down your words, sing a song, write 2 lines. You can do it. I'm talking to my own self. The daughter said, Papa, you have a pen and a pencil and a paper. Start sketching things. I sketched a few things. She said, have you done your exercise? I go and done more. Somebody is egging you on and you tell yourself, okay, I need to do it. That's what you got to do. Got to keep yourself active. So please tell the gentleman, your image will remain great provided you make your image look great. And not just imagine, what will my boss feel about it? Your boss will feel what you feel. So feel positive, your boss will be positive.
Right, absolutely. That's a boost of motivation, a trigger of motivation for anybody who's feeling low can get inspiration from your words, sir. I can never ever thank you enough for the power
you
that you sent across through your words, sir.
Thank you.
So, sir,
thank you.
I will come towards the last question. This is from a young person who says that, is it correct that if we stay in an organization for a long period of time, we stop growing. I am working in an IT company. I got promoted quickly and easily than my peers, but now I'm stuck in same position for more than 2 years. I like what I do, but I'm wondering if stepping out of my comfort zone and taking a new role will actually help me grow.
Very interesting point that you said, or the person concerned said, I like what I do. You see, when you like what you do, it actually shows happiness. Please understand what I'm saying. I always believe doing what you like is freedom. Doing what you like is freedom. मैं ये करना चाहता हूं, मैंने कर लिया. Nobody stopped me is freedom. Doing what you like. But liking what you do is happiness. Now, the person concerned here is, I'm liking what I'm doing, then you should be happy. Let's look at a few aspects of the point that the gentleman or the lady has raised. Number one, working in an organization. And she says, do we stop growing at some point of time? Growing physically, psychologically, mentally, morally, ethically. Which growing are you talking about? And I know what growing she's talking about or he's talking about. You're talking of designations. एक ही काम में लगे हुए हैं. That is a very, very, narrowistic thought process. Do we stop growing? Firstly, look at the fact she got promoted or he got promoted faster than a few of the others. Why? Why did that happen? That shouldn't have happened. Go back to your boss and say, sir, नहीं, मुझे इतना जल्दी promotion नहीं चाहिए. I want you to promote me gradually. थोड़ा थोड़ा, so that I can grow gradually. Nobody wants that, Kanika. Nobody wants that. You have suddenly gone up the echelons, designation-wise in your organization. It's an IT company, I can understand what it is. Half my clientele is all IT companies. You got promoted quickly, easily. You're doing better than your peers. And now you suddenly say, I'm stuck in the same position for 2 years. Arey Baba, pehle to you have already jumped the gun, sidestepped, overshot, overstepped a lot of people. And now you say, mujhe 2 saal ho gaye. I mean, what are you, Bill Gates? No, we won't even talk of Bill Gates. Even he's having problems now. Everything is not as clear as it looks like. So is Jeff Bezos. But the point is, let's not become lalchi to a point. Ki sir, 2 saal ho gaye, now I'm stuck here. Same position. What do you expect to happen? You see, there is a way of climbing a hierarchical ladder. Let's face it. You are working in a private corporate where promotions, believe you me, Kanika, are very fast, very quick, as compared to a government organization where till you don't put in 15 years, you cannot rise in one rank, then you put in 8 more years. Government organizations are different. You're in a private organization, you show material, you show work, you show product, you show growth, you show a finish to work. Believe you me, you can be at the top of an organization. I have known students of mine who are CEOs of organizations at the ripe old age of 35. 35 and you are heading an organization which has got thousands of people working under you. Take it one step at a time. Enjoy what you do. You are liking what you do because you are happy about it. You're doing what you like because you have the freedom to do it. But now you're getting a little ambitious. You're getting fed up and you said we have stopped growing. Why you say you've stopped growing? You have stopped growing because your mind has stopped thinking. Why can't you let the mind? I always tell people, Kanika, the difference between year to year is 6 inches. That is what the brain and the mind is. 6 inches. I said, get out of the 6 inches now. This is a box. Think outside the box. You're going to come up with creative ideas. Now you're saying, I want to step out of my comfort zone. My question is, what is your comfort zone? What do you mean by comfort zone? Will it help you grow in your career? Means you will now start looking at other things vis-a-vis what you're also doing and said, let me also now say, यहाँ पर 10 घंटे लगाता हूँ, 6 घंटे लगाएंगे, let us do something else. Do it. It's good to step out of a comfort zone, provided that old zone does not become uncomfortable. See, I like to play with words. Comfort zone. I've got out of it now, and so first I was doing job A, now I'm doing job A plus B. I'm enjoying it. You will enjoy A plus B provided A does not suffer. Tomorrow, when A starts suffering because you moved out of comfort zone, then B is not going to be as comfortable as you thought it to be. How are you going to grow in your career? Keep doing your job. Believe you me, you have been in a position today with promotions over others for 2 years and you have suddenly got fed up. That way, if I were to look at my examples and talk to people, I said, oh my God, I've spent months on a lonely, akela sand dune in the middle of a godforsaken desert at temperatures of 57 degrees with one person with me who was my Sayak and I was his Sayak. We looked at each other's faces for 8 months at a stretch and not a person in sight. Then I should have stopped growing. Then I should have said, ye kaisi zindagi hai? You see, I'm not trying to compare issues, Kanika. Forgive me if somebody thinks, sir, aap to Fauji the. I say it's got nothing to do with being a Fauji. It's about streamlining the mind. You don't stop growing. Yes, you stop growing in height after you cross age of 18. I can understand a little kid at the age of 14 is already 6'2" and mama says, I want him to be 6'10". Well, he has got that 6 inches to grow for another 6 years. After 18, he's not going to be 7'5", and then at 25, he's going to be 8 feet 10 inches. You stop growing. But your physicality may stop growing, Kanika. The mind does not stop growing. The moment somebody says, I've stopped growing, he's basically talking of this. This has got to be vibrant. It's got to be energetic. Remember, I always tell a lot of people, in a computer, the motherboard, what is it? The motherboard, is it the heart or the brain of a computer? A lot of people say, brain, sir, brain, sir, brain. I said, no, it's the heart. Why? Because the brain is dependent on the heart. Till such time your heart beats, your brain will function. Tomorrow, if your brain stops functioning, God forbid, and you become a comatose case, the heart will still beat. Until the heart beats, there's still hope.
Right.
Now, when you're talking of growth, we're not only looking at the brain, we're looking at the self, the mind as person, as people concerned. It's a combination of heart and head. Don't stop growing. The day you stop growing, well, you can say, I am a victim of Alzheimer's. I don't know what is happening, who is who. God bless us all. So don't stop growing. Don't think you're growing just because you've reached a dead end. There is monotony in everything we do in life, Kanika. Everything has a degree of monotony. You mean to say Mukesh Ambani doesn't find it boring at some point of time in his life? He must be fed up with all the billions of dollars he has. A Virat Kohli hits 27, 30, 40 centuries. A Sachin Tendulkar has hit over 100 of them. You think he was excited every time? He would have been, but it's a regular thing. एक और सेंचुरी मार दी सर, बोर हो गए सर, अभी डबल सेंचुरी मारनी थी, डबल सेंचुरी मार दी, ट्रिपल मारनी है, Sachin didn't do that, Virat hasn't done it, Virendra Sehwag has twice, because Virendra Sehwag probably said, let those others stop growing at 100 and 200 century runs, I will go to beyond 300, and he went to a 300 from a 294, he hit a 6 to get to a 300. Wrong examples, Kanika, but I'm just telling you, when the mind believes it can, it can.
It can.
You think you can, you will. So keep the mind open. The mind must be vibrant and not dormant. Aim for the moon. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, aim for the moon. Because even if you miss, you will still be one of its stars. Remember this. Look big, think big. One more before we have a generic talk. A bend in the road is not the end of the road. You see, we have all traveled in hills, pahadi ilake mein hum gaye hain, hairpin bends, roads are like that. This side you have the face of the hill or the mountain, the other side you have a deep down khai, 1,000 feet deep. You got to be very careful when you take a turn, right? I say a bend in the road. I didn't say it, Ralph Waldo Emerson. Good man. He said a bend in the road is not the end of the road unless you fail to take a turn. जब आप रास्ते के कोने पर पहुंचते हो, you can't keep that steering wheel straight. You got to turn the steering wheel. Take a turn, and that's not the end of the road. Don't turn your steering wheel, and you will be flying in a car which is not going to land at an airport, but it is going to land in the crevice of a bottomless pit. This is attitude of life. Look at life from a positive. Keep growing mentally. Play chess. I tell a lot of people, let them start playing chess at home. It makes the mind vibrant. You are imagining the next move and the move after that of your opponent, and the mind is vibrant. This is what it is. This is where I want to tell this person, you are stuck in a job. Keep getting stuck in it. Be innovative. 2 years will become 3, and 3 years will see you becoming another senior person in your designation. And wish you well. Kanika.
Amazing, sir. I think with this answer, a lot of us would have some questions popping here and there, but all of them have been, handled by you in this one answer. And I particularly liked every word of what you said. That the end of the road doesn't mean the end of the road. We need to keep moving, keep growing, keep evolving with our experiences. So there was one audience question. I know I said this in my last question, but there was one audience question who existed, and this gentleman wants to know how to handle favoritism in corporate sector. How can one handle favoritism?
Favoritism is everywhere in life. Forget the corporate system at all. Look at your siblings. Sometimes you were always jealous of the younger sibling because she was Papa's pet. You thought Papa liked her more or Mama liked her less. When you get down to class, you found the teacher had a favorite. You found that somebody didn't study half as hard as you did but got more marks because the teacher was kind. You graduated further, you went to college, the professor did the same thing. He had his chunk of people. You went to a corporate tomorrow and you found that the boss liked a few people. Well, that is part of life. How do you handle favoritism? By just doing your bit to the best of your ability without faltering, so that tomorrow the boss who has his favorites and he's entitled to having his favorites, you can do nothing about it, Kanika. At least he will not point a finger at you and say, you're not doing a good job. I do like X more than you, but you're damn good too. Favoritism can never be taken away. How do you handle it? By just being yourself, not giving your superior an opportunity to tick you off. Because if he has somebody who is more of his favorite and you falter in what you do, the other guy becomes even more of a favorite guy. You take the beating. Just do your work, Betu. Just do your work. Don't you, Kanika, have some of your own favorites in life?
Of course.
Professionally, don't I? Now we always say both the kids that I have are my apples of my eye. Yes, of course. Now somebody says, the daughter says, Pops, you love me more than him, na? Dad says, the son says, Arey, chodo yaar, Pops. She's emotional about it. Fact is, you'll have this rivalry among children at home. You'll have this rivalry in your corporate. For the boss, both the guys are good. He may like to bear somebody a little more for emotive reasons, maybe at your cost at times, but if you are delivering results at the right point of time, Kanika, favoritism will always be there. It doesn't matter. How do you handle it? Just be yourself. Be nice to the guy who you find is more inclined towards your colleague. It doesn't matter. I have been there, done that. I have seen it. There are people who have told me, sir, she's your favorite or he's my favorite. I said, that's what is the impression given to you. But I look at you as all my bacha party. Why I look at that person a little more than you is because that person is always up and about and answering and volunteering and saying he's more in the limelight. What's stopping you from coming into the limelight? I'm not saying you go with a butter sandwich and give to the boss every morning and a pastry the next day. Well, you might find yourself sitting on the pastry you offered your boss and that will make you have a wet bottom. Don't do that. But there are ways of getting and worming your way into people's hearts and people's lives and people's minds, Kanika. Favoritism will always be there. It will.
Right, sir. Amazing, sir. This has been such a wonderful, interactive and fun session. We got so many insights from you, sir. And as Shaurya Joshi is saying again, let your work speak. And when we're talking about favorites, you are my favorite speaker. And I got a comment in the session that says that you are one of the favorite speakers of Just One. So favoritism will always be there, but then let the word speak. And so, sir, we are concluding. We are moving towards the end of this amazing session that we had with you. What is your note of advice or note of closing to everybody?
Yeah, which I always do, Kanika. And two things I'm going to mention. One is common to all, and one is borrowed from a great man. Firstly, I've always believed whenever you do anything in life, don't look for brownie points. A lot of people do a lot of work to get brownie points. Brownie points, if they come without you going out of your way to try and get them, have a different mithas, they have a different flavor. But some people like to just make a comment to come into the limelight, into people's cynosure of all eyes, by just coming up with a point which may have no relevance with what you're saying, and the other guys will say, "Baat mein kuch dam nahi tha, brownie points le liye." Don't go and don't hanker for brownie points. And we all have heard of Robert Frost, okay, the great man. And I really believe what as a child I remembered what when Jawaharlal Nehru was the Prime Minister of India and he passed away way back in 1964. I remember Dad telling me that on his table were this words of Robert Frost. I learned it, I read it as told to me by Dad when I was class 2 or 3 then. It had an imprint on my mind. And what did he say? He said, and I repeat with quoting Robert Frost, he said, "The woods are lovely, dark and deep." He repeats, "The woods are lovely, dark and deep, and I have promises to keep." Remember this. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, and I have promises to keep. Of course, I'm not going to quote the man directly. Miles to sleep, etc. But the fact is, the woods are lonely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. This is the growth. The woods are lonely today, yes. The light at the end of a tunnel, Kanika, why are you looking at it as an oncoming train? Why don't you look at it as sunlight?
Right.
You see, when you look into a tunnel और वहाँ पर bright नजर आता है, the pessimist says train आ रही है. The optimist says धूप का कमाल है. That's possible. That's positive. So we are the woods are a little lonely. They were very lonely last year at this point. We have covered the loneliness.
Mm-hmm.
We have miles to go before we finally sleep. And that finally sleep, let's not preempt that sleep from happening. Let it come and when it has to come. We are alive, full of life, full of zest, full of energy. Let's live, not exist. We're not कीड़े मकोड़े. कीड़े मकोड़े exist करते हैं. हम में दम है. We got life in us. Learn to live and live how to learn. Thank you, Kanika.
Thank you so much, sir. This was an amazing session that we had. Everybody enjoyed. I can see the comments coming in. Always good to listen to you, sir. Shorish says that you are her favorite too. Jai Hind, stay safe, take care. Kanisha says. So thank you so much, sir, for this session and for
always.
This is our weekly or bi-weekly dose of enthusiasm that we get from you, and we keep going with it. You are such a blessing. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and wishing everybody good health.
You people are the cause of my continuing to do what I do. You humble me by your kindness. I have never hankered for compliments. I have never done anything with the purpose of what will I get. I believe that I need to give. So thank you for being what you are, and you're very good for my, if I may use the term, my ego, which I never allowed to come in the place of work. But God bless you. Love you all. Take care. Look after yourself. Stay safe. Wear a double mask if you have to go out to pick up something or buy something or go and see off somebody. Maintain social distance, because we have to conquer, and we will.
Right.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Veda. All the best.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.